Hi, my name's Val.
Have you ever wondered about the history of Val Kilmer? In a town where image is everything and reinvention is a survival skill, few actors have shape-shifted through roles and realities quite like Val Kilmer. With a career that has oscillated between blockbuster glory, indie credibility, personal turbulence, and spiritual introspection, Kilmer's journey is as compelling as any character he's portrayed. From fighter pilot to gunslinger, from Batman to a voiceless poet, his story is a wild ride through Hollywood's neon-lit corridors and shadowy corners. Welcome to History Wonder. Val Edward Kilmer was born on December 31st, 1959 in Los Angeles, California, a city that would one day both exalt and haunt him. His father, Eugene Kilmer, was an aerospace equipment distributor, and his mother, Gladys, had a theatrical streak of her own. Kilmer's ancestry is a blend of Swedish, German, and Cherokee roots. Tragedy struck early. His younger brother, Wesley, died at age 15 from an epileptic seizure. That loss would mark Kilmer deeply and surface later in reflective poetry and acting choices. From a young age, Kilmer was drawn to performance, poetry, and visual art. He attended the Hollywood Professional School, where students could pursue both academics and creative ambitions. After a brief stint at Chatsworth High School, where he crossed paths with Kevin Spacey and Mayor Winningham, he auditioned for Juilliard. At just 17, Kilmer became the youngest student ever accepted into the drama division of the prestigious school. There, he immersed himself in classical training, honing the precision and intensity that would later define his best performances. Kilmer's rise to fame wasn't instantaneous, but when he hit hard. The first film role came in 1984 with Top Secret, a wacky spoof blending spy thriller tropes with Elvis-era musical parodies. Kilmer not only starred in the film, but also sang all of the songs on the soundtrack himself, showcasing a surprising musical talent. 2 years later, Kilmer's big break arrived in the form of Top Gun in 1986. He played Tom Iceman Kazansky, the icy and disciplined foil to Tom Cruise's impulsive Maverick. Though Cruise was the lead, Kilmer left a lasting impression with minimal dialogue and maximum presence. His bleached hair, steely glare, and confident swagger turned Iceman into a pop culture icon. Despite the film's success, Kilmer was reportedly reluctant to take the role, believing it lacked depth, but it made him a household name, setting the stage for more nuanced parts. In the late 80s, he continued to explore diverse genres, romantic comedies such as Willow, Shakespearean adaptations such as Hamlet on stage, and action thrillers such as Kill Me Again. The 90s marked Kilmer's true artistic ascent. In 1991, he delivered what many consider his greatest performance as Jim Morrison in Oliver Stone's The Doors. To prepare, Kilmer immersed himself in Morrison's life, reading his poetry, studying his movements, and even recording vocals that were nearly indistinguishable from the real thing. The dedication paid off. Critics praised his portrayal as haunting and immersive. Next came Tombstone in 1993, where he played Doc Holliday, a southern dandy with tuberculosis and a deadpan wit. Kilmer's performance was electric. Pale, sweaty, and dripping with menace and charm, he delivered quotable lines with Shakespearean grace. His performance overshadowed even Kurt Russell's Wyatt Earp, elevating the film to cult classic status. In 1995, Kilmer reached a career milestone with Batman Forever, stepping into the boots of the Caped Crusader. He brought a brooding intensity to Bruce Wayne and a statuesque elegance to Batman, but behind the scenes he found the experience frustrating. The heavy rubber batsuit limited his movement and expression. Kilmer later said he felt like a prop, unable to truly act in the role. That same year, he co-starred in Michael Mann's Heat, one of the decade's most celebrated films. Acting alongside Robert De Niro and Al Pacino, Kilmer held his own, portraying a loyal but troubled bank robber. The film's iconic shootout scene remains a touchstone of modern action cinema. Kilmer's career in the late 90s was a mixed bag. He starred in The Ghost in the Darkness in 1996 opposite Michael Douglas, a historical thriller that fared decently at the box office. However, The Island of Dr. Moreau in 1996 became a Hollywood disaster story, plagued by director changes, script rewrites, and feuds, notably with Marlon Brando. The film collapsed into chaos. Kilmer's reputation for being difficult grew during this time, further complicating his relationship with studios. Yet, he continued to take on ambitious roles. In The Saint in 1997, he played a master of disguise torn between espionage and romance. It was a moderate success, showcasing his ability to lead a major studio film, but other projects like At First Sight in 1999 failed to connect with audiences. In the 2000s, Kilmer shifted towards smaller, riskier projects. The Salton Sea in 2002 became a cult favorite, featuring him as a jazz-loving informant with a shattered identity. He also played John Holmes in Wonderland in 2003, exploring the porn star's seedy underworld with a gritty, raw performance. These roles reminded audiences of Kilmer's serious chops, even if the box office didn't always follow. In 2015, news broke that Kilmer was battling throat cancer. At first, he denied the reports, but it eventually became clear he had undergone a tracheotomy and lost much of his ability to speak. The transformation was dramatic. His once velvety voice was reduced to a raspy whisper. For an actor known for his commanding presence, it was a profound loss. But rather than disappear, Kilmer channeled his energy into other forms of art. He began painting and writing poetry, using creativity as a form of healing. He also leaned more heavily into Christian Science, a faith tradition that emphasized spiritual healing over medical treatment. While controversial, Kilmer credits his faith with helping him endure and recover. In 2020, Kilmer published his memoir, I'm Your Huckleberry, a poetic, introspective, and surprisingly humorous account of his life. He wrote openly about his relationships, including flings with Cher and Cindy Crawford, and his artistic aspirations beyond Hollywood. The documentary Val premiered at Cannes in 2021 and offered an unprecedented glimpse into Kilmer's private life. Composed largely of home videos, behind-the-scenes footage, and personal narration read by his son Jack, the film is a poignant exploration of fame, identity, and mortality. Audiences saw a man reckoning with his past, his career highs, his perceived failures, and his battle with cancer. It was both a love letter to acting and a sobering reminder of its costs. Critics hailed it as one of the most honest celebrity documentaries in years. In 2022, Kilmer returned to the big screen in Top Gun: Maverick. The production team used AI to recreate his voice, and the script leaned into his real-life health struggles. In a single emotionally charged scene, Iceman, now an admiral, reunites with Maverick. Their exchange, brief but powerful, left audiences teary-eyed. It wasn't just a plot point, it was a meta-commentary on legacy, brotherhood, and resilience. That one scene reminded the world of Kilmer's gravity. Despite his illness, he radiated presence. It was more than a cameo, it was a cultural moment. Val Kilmer's legacy is complex, multifaceted, and undeniably rich. He was never content to coast on charm or good looks. He chased depth, often in the expanse of popularity. He burned bridges, but he also lit up screens with a magnetism few could match. His performances in The Doors, Tombstone, Heat, and The Salton Sea are now seen as some of the most distinctive of their time. His willingness to revisit Iceman, despite physical hardship, demonstrated both humility and courage. But beyond the roles, Kilmer's enduring contribution might be his defiance of easy categorization. He refused to be boxed in, whether by Hollywood's typecasting or by illness. He painted, he wrote, he filmed his life with unflinching honesty. Sadly, Val Kilmer passed away on April 1st, 2025. In an industry that demands constant reinvention, Kilmer stood apart as someone who reinvented not for fame, but for survival and truth. Hollywood may have its stars, but few shine as mysteriously and brightly as Val Kilmer. To borrow his own words, Val Kilmer will always be our Huckleberry. Thanks for watching. What topics in history have you wondered about? Comment below and let us know what videos you would like to see. And be sure to like and subscribe.